Hello, this is Tsubasa Lucid and I play Heartbreak music. 2 years in London, I came back to Japan last November and I came back with so many stories, crazy stories, and so many songs, but no actual recordings. So I dedicated all my time, effort, and energy into bringing all these things, and I'm finally at peace to be able to deliver this to you. Now, these are the very songs I wrote in London and used to play every night all over the town, sometimes 5 days a week. But to me, more importantly, these songs are um, records of the actual life that I lived. That's why I keep saying telling stories. These are not just music pieces. My whole life, I realize these days, like I made art, whether it's drawing, photography, or music, in order to not just for self-expression like people say, but to me it really boils down to the preservation of the proof that I lived. Because two things, I always felt the desire to create. It's something that I truly enjoy and I felt cold to do. But also, there's this persistent urgency and desperation and really like fear that if I don't express myself or leave these stories, then my worth and value and the meaning of my very existence might be meaningless or it just disappear or something. So I kind of always kept holding on to the idea. Okay, I remember sitting in my grandparents' bathroom, like toilet, when I was 10. It was like on the birthday of me turning 10 years old. This is like 23 years ago. 10 years old Tsubasa, little boy, sitting there and thinking like, now I lived a decade. If I don't do anything impressive now, before I get old, I'm not gonna be impressive, and people are gonna think I am nobody. And I remember that shit. And I sometimes told this story to like people, and it's kind of funny how this little kid was thinking a serious thing, thoughts like that. It was nothing other than a funny story, but I recently just made a connection. My self-worth, even as early as age of 10, it was connected to the external judgment and evaluation of what other people think. This is a great example of how people think, oh, external validation, this is it. And I just recently made a connection. So I always created art from joy, but also from fear. Unless I make and leave all this proof that I lived, my meaning of life is going to disappear or something, which is always never the truth. But that's how I felt. And but I'm conscious about it now, and I assure you, this album is a product of me grown into the person who I am today, who is able to differentiate those two. And then I can confidently say, despite the theme of this album being all the disconnectedness, emptiness, loneliness, and most of all heartbreak, like I always claim frequently, despite that, this album is made with joy, fun, and excitement only. Yes, there were a lot of teardrops, but it's because these songs really succeeded to bring up all these like stuff that was left deep inside. That's what songwriting do to me is. But anyway, so this album is made with pure joy, man. And yeah, this is not a cry for help. Like everything I made before, especially like drawing, like heinous, crazy, like drawing people stabbing somebody in the face, and or music. Like, you know, I come from hardcore and punk, and I always sang about killing people and you know, fighting back and fuck this, fuck that. It's none of that. That is a cry for help. But this album, for the first time in my life, I made with love. As cliche as it sounds, and some of my friends, I know you hate this, but this is what Tsubasa has become, and I'm proud to say that, because it's not about this or that. They say this, not this or that, but this and that, which what I mean is old me who was desperate to be seen and be heard. That's why I had to act it up, and you know, like had to like fight and like be cold and strong, which is not a real strength if you are trying to prove your strength and power to the world. There's a fake display of power. But anyway, this is, you know, I did that with all the information I had at the time, so it's all valid. Now this Tsubasa, fear-based driven, angry, fucking hate-driven, fuck you Tsubasa, versus just new me. Some of you know me as like the spiritual guy who never get bothered, and always talking about self-help, spiritual, inspirational quote bullshit, and that's new me as well. But it's not about becoming this. It's about embracing this part of the past and putting it all together, and that's what's so beautiful about this new, I don't know, music I created. Was because I felt like finally myself, you know. And people say that all the time, but anyway, this is a long intro, longer than I expected to be. But thank you, and I'm a big fan of keep your art like mysterious. Like don't talk about your art too much. I'm a big fan of that, and I'm also a big fan of the concept that once you put out the art into the world, that's not yours anymore. That belongs to people whoever who listen to it and interpret it in their own way. I'm a big fan of that. That being said, I feel so excited to talk about the backstories and what happened, what in each song, because all these 14 songs, they all have stories beneath it, and a lot of emotionality as well. And spoiler alert, I have 3 special guests that actually sung, played instruments, and both on this song. So you might hear or see some of them. You never know. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna talk so much after these videos. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this, and I'll see you soon.